Generic greetings and welcome back once again to the Last Starship. Today's beverage is Tea Earl Grey Hot. So welcome back to the game, and previously we were flying around in the Procedurally cruiser, which is, well, it's low on oxygen. We need to sort that out, but we've also we've not got the cash, so we'll have to we'll have to deal with that once we've done more missions. Speaking of that, as I said, we were doing some missions with the Procedurally cruiser, picking up the flight recorders and the wreckage. We delivered that to Commander Harkin, who has now informed us that after some analysis, there is definitely 100% for sure a pirate going around preying on some friendly vessels. So we'll have to deal with that at some point. It will become our problem, I'm sure. The foundry, we are here, and well, we are making Stargate frames, which is going to allow us to bid for contracts for the Andromeda project, which is a big Stargate, and I don't think we have that button just yet, but yeah, basically we can try and create the Stargate, and that allows us to make a lot of cash. But we need to do the deep space industrialists first. I'm going to do that sooner rather than later because, well, we were only one off. You can see we've got the AJE foundry. We've been given this essentially. It's sort of rented, sort of not. We're working with a guy who has said that, yeah, you know, this is sort of derelict. We're the ones tasked with being on the factory floor, as it were, and we need to set it up and run things. They're just there to finance and, well, pay for their 14th house. So we will deliver the Stargate frames. So it is 10 frames in total. You can see we've got all of this stuff here, and I don't know why. Do we not have just a place for cargo? Let's go to storage and any cargo. Cargo like that, and they should shift things from here. Yes, they are. Oh, that's cargo as well. It's just yeah, it's just completely full. Obviously, we're going to have to massively overhaul our production facilities, which, well, there's a few schools of thought actually when it comes to well, any factory builder, but one can argue that in this game, you can go a number of ways. And in the past, I have made, I wouldn't say a modular system, but we have got a system where we have basic smelting in one area, we move everything over, and then we fabricate stuff. You could do it that way. You could do it another way where you have like a fully automated system, like a 1-to-1 ratio of production, so you're getting the exact amount of items from one machine to the other, or multiple machines to multiple machines, or any combination thereof, essentially to get a full throughput on a sort of time on target measure. Yeah, so you get everything just when you need it. And, well, yeah, we could do it that way. And another way is that you try and set up a hugely complicated network of rails and storage and boxes and robot arms in order to have it infinitely configurable. I don't know which way we'll go, but we shall see. For now, we need to talk to the Andromeda Project representative. So, this is a message from the AJE Foundry, or to the AJE Foundry. Received your samples and can report that they have passed comfortably within our engineering tolerances. You are formally approved as a licensed industry partners and may now manufacture all items in our design manifest. Batches of completed parts may now be submitted to the Andromeda Project through the open marketplace. You will find our buyers ready to release funds for any parts manufactured to specification. Thank you for your endeavours and good luck. So, Alexander James Ellistar. So, excellent. Let's have a look at the manifest he mentioned and see what is required next. Select the Stargate button on the toolbar to open the Stargate screen, and there it is. It goes from phase 1 naturally to phase 10. The Stargate screen displays everything you need to manufacture to complete the current phase. Each component you need to manufacture is on the right. So here we go, 200 Stargate frames. Placing your mouse over shows how to produce it. Yes, so it says we need one Stargate frame, create an assembly table, required resources 2 frames. Okay. Stargate construction is split into phases, which will require more and more resources. You have just completed phase 1. To complete phase 2, also we've already done phase 1, which is tick the box and say yes, we are able to manufacture things within tolerance. Okay, so we need 200. The button underneath each component, click to sell all the items in stock, blah blah blah. Yeah, that is fine. Now close the Stargate screen. Good. So it looks like it's just a bulk order for the parts we've already provided. We need to make 200 more Stargate frames. We're already manufacturing them, but we'll need to scale up production, or else else this will take forever. All right. So we have done that, and we have gained 600,000 generic units of currency for payment. Because of that, then I'm going to go to trade and over to our resources and oxygen, and I'm going to bring in, actually probably don't need that amount, some amount of oxygen, and also trading. I'm releasing some of the seed money. 600,000 should be enough for you to buy all the equipment you need to scale up. Remember, it isn't a gift. I still own the station and all the equipment on board. I suggest buy more smelters, fabricators, and assembly tables. A couple of each at least. All that equipment will draw juice, so you'll need to expand power network with more reactors and batteries. To cope, you'll need more crew to do the work. If you don't have metal ingots, you should be able to buy raw materials from the open marketplace. You can usually buy scrap metal, but you'll find metallic minerals, which can all be smelted in metal ingots. So scale up production and basically build the thing. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Of course we will. While we're here, though, on the Procedurally cruiser, we're going to go over to logistics, and we're going to get ourselves nothing, because that's wrong. It's energy, is it? Get there in the end. There we go. So we want fuel, and we want some FTL charges. We'll confirm that. So that's hopefully okay here. Let's go back to the foundry, and let's set this going, shall we? So I want an area where we are... Well, for a start, I need to scale up our energy, don't I? So let's go to... I could go to here, maybe, and just put some batteries in. Or do I just buy it? I don't really know. I do know, scaffold-wise, I want to build some scaffolding around and put in a big row of solar. And I'm probably just going to put a row of solar onto that side. Before I do that, let me go over to hull, and I'm going to square off this hull. Just because, although I do appreciate the effort that's gone into making it not a box, I'm not really bothered about it being a box. We will do that. Just put in these little storage bits, but we'll go to floors. And you can see that we just need to do this and something like that, and it's all going to be cloned on either side, so we're fine. So there we go. And then I want scaffolding, so scaffolding is going to go along here, but I'm not going to make it symmetrical on here, because I'm going to expand it this way. Let's just confirm the building of that, and that will do for now. So over to trading and to energy and solar panels. I'll buy all the solar panels. I'm going to buy another reactor. I'm going to buy 4 batteries. I'm going to go to, let's see, industry. I want in a couple of smelters. I want a couple of fabricators and a couple of assembly tables, and can't afford any of that. All right, well I can, but I'm just going to get rid of the reactor. I probably don't need that. Let's remove this one. Let me go to installation, storage. We want to go for fuel, and fuel can be stored in this little corner here. That is fine. And then smelting. So, do I put a smelting in a different area, or do I not? I think, frankly, I'm just going to put... This is what I said earlier about there's different schools of thought about where to put things. And obviously I could put these things here that I'm placing in some sort of modular system, but I have a feeling, and that's from experience on previous builds, that I had to overhaul this anyway. So at this particular stage, I'm not concerned about just dumping stuff down and letting the game do its own thing. And also, and this really depends on, personal preference, I believe. There's enough to do in the game that if you want to be totally efficient on the production side of it and do a full-on sort of factorio type thing, you can by all means do so. Other games about factory building are also available, but I default to things like Factorio and Satisfactory, etc. But yes, you can if you want to be very, very particular about the building of the factory. However, in this game, there is a lot to do. If you just want to build a factory, you can do that. If you want to go mining, exploring, doing other missions, fighting, all that is available. So I tend to just set this going and walk away. And it does its own thing in its own time. We don't have to worry about it. It will be not overly efficient, but it'll get the job done. What I was going to do, I was going to go for fuel charges, wasn't I? There, right, okay. Have we not got any fuel charges? I don't know, but what I want to do is install some solar panels. And like that. Cables. Ah. So I can't connect up the things there. Okay, so the scaffolding going to be like that. There we go. Cables can now go in. And that will then hopefully allow us to power this thing a bit better. Don't need the gap, they can walk around. Okay, we eventually will have to scrub up some CO2 as well, I think, but we'll see. Battery low. Alright. Scale up production, start smelting metallic minerals. Scrap metal. And metallic minerals. Trade. Metallic minerals. Confirm the buying of that. And now I can go to Stargate and sell the frames. And this will be a very profitable endeavour for us. The Andromeda project are so desperately in need of reliable manufacturing facilities that they are paying a fortune. Now, sales revenue is going to flow through you, but remember, our agreement 50-50. I put a lot of capital in to get us to this point, and I need to start seeing a return. Every time you sell a batch of parts, the Andromeda project, you'll owe me half the revenue. I appreciate it if you pay me promptly. So there you go, payment received, thank you. I don't know what happens if you don't pay them. I really don't. And I don't particularly want to find out. Right, okay, so storage and metallic minerals. I'll just put that there for now. Good, right. And it was frames, frames, and frames. Are these guys just really, really busy? Is that why stuff hasn't been moved over? I have a feeling that's the case. I probably don't need the spacesuits for these guys because they're not going to get into combat. But I always like to have a 1-to-1 ratio on them. So, we are producing Stargate frames, we're smelting metallic minerals. Scale of production, I think, just you get done once all this is, done its own thing. But, for now, where do we want to be? Well, I want to go and talk to Commander Harkin. So you can see FTL is activated, the Procyon cruiser is aligning and ready to jump. The Foundry can't jump, but even if it could, it's not set to do this. In previous versions of the game, in fact for a long time, you couldn't split things up. In fact, I don't even know if there was multiple ships in a fleet. It was called the Last Starship and you had one. Anyway, thank you for coming, Captain. We have been attempting to track the pirate vessel down, but to no avail. We keep arriving in the scene to find destroyed ships with no trace of the pirates. We need you to... This is Captain Amelia Riker of the UMC vessel Orion Sentinel. We are under attack. They appeared out of nowhere, fired upon us without warning, and won't respond to any of my communications. I'm trying to hold them off, but I need help. My engines are damaged. Ship systems have failed. Please hurry. I have 40 crew on board. This is now an urgent humanitarian rescue situation. If we respond quickly enough, we may be able to rescue the crew. Need to require at least 4 maneuvering thrusters to dock with the Captain Riker's ship. Fit maneuvering thrusters, 2 of 4, and time is running out. Okay, so I need to rescue the crew. Right, well I can't buy them here, so I'm going to... Where is the... There's the crew there, so the nearest place is probably just where we came from, so I'm going to have to rush back. O2 there. Oh yeah, you can see we are building up some CO2 now, 7%. So I need to start scrubbing the CO2 in this vessel, but that's a future me problem. That isn't really an issue at this stage. Let me jump and Oh, Deep Space Industrialist Part 1. Yes, we are still going through that. In fact, we're almost completed another part of it. Let's go to... Where are those guys off to? There's a drone just launched for some reason. I think it's going here to pick some stuff up, but I don't know why. Anyway, I do want to go to trade. 2 maneuvering thrusters. Confirm that. And I'll put the maneuvering thrusters on here. Almost certainly going to go on the front. Oh, in the background there you can see a part of the Stargate project, this tiny little frame. Yeah, install thrusters 1, 2. Cables. Like so. And then over to there. Prepare the jump. Gonna go back to the AGE Foundry in a moment. Just gonna close that. Can I sell that? Stargate. Sell all frames. Yes, there we go. So we're still producing stuff. This is all good. Back up the Procyon cruiser. You can see we are definitely micromanaging stuff now. So I have no idea what I'm going to find. One enemy hostile ship. There they are. Okay, we're now going to learn how to deploy our weapons in combat. The game has been paused. Battle stations must be activated before weapons can be used. Battle stations activated. Gatling guns don't require any crew to deploy them. Gun barrels will begin to extend when they arrive. And, oh, yeah, we are being hit. Captain, thank goodness you're here. Help us. I'm trying to. We won't last much longer. When the barrel is fully extended, they will be ready to fire. Well done, your weapons are now successfully deployed to battle. Yeah, but we're getting shot to bits. Not much I can do other than head over to the unidentified pirate, which there's no way I can fend off against them. We are on 2% damage, but my invasion is going up. And they've jumped away. Okay, the guys have actually jumped away. Right. Let me head over. Looks like they turned and ran when they saw you arrive, Captain, but my ship's on the brink. The reactor won't hold much longer. Rescue the crew and need to get close and initiate docking procedures, which we've done. We've been told, well, we did previously the mission to do that, so that's fine. So we will rush over. We have maneuvering thrusters on the right. It looks like their ship has, luckily, come to a complete stop, which is good. You can also see now another readout. On the left, we've got the starboard and port PDCs. That's point defense cannons, I believe, and also shows you our overall bullets and amount of cannon and railgun shells. The latter two, it matters not because we don't need them. So let's go ahead and I like that. See the arrow there in the middle of the ship? That is based on what we're doing here on our control. On our control pad, so that's really good. I like that. So we are docking up. This is the docking assist that's turned on, which is making life a lot easier. So there we go. We are getting the crew. Reactor's reaching critical levels, Captain. I can't stop it from overloading. Try and buy a few more seconds, but it's going to be critical any moment. Get a safe distance as soon as you can and save my crew. Undock to get a safe distance from the Sentinel before it explodes. Undock and go, go, go. There's the ship. But we are... Okay. There it goes. So, a few more seconds and we would be a flash in the distance. Well done, Captain. Your intervention prevented a further loss of life. And we now know the pirate vessel is crewed by cowards. In fact, we intend to use that to our advantage. In the meantime, take the survivors to the nearest shipyard or colony and drop them off and close the contract. Yes, there we are. So, we're going to head back. CO2 warning is fatal. I need to sort that out. And also we are low on food. But I'm just going to... And it does feel a little bit crass for us to have the survivors of the ship on board, probably while they're looking at what we're doing, which is basically salvaging parts. There you go. We're taking all the wreckage now. And yeah, we might have to abandon it because the CO2 is getting a problem. Okay, I'm gonna head back. We'll head back to the shipyard in the center. No more drones deployed, which is good. And we'll jump. We'll hand that in. And then we'll have to start scrubbing the CO2, which is a whole other system entirely, but I'll go through it and show you what to do. Let's turn in the contract. Okay, that's done. We should have enough money in order to do that. So we need a couple of things. What do we need? We want... It might actually tell us about this... dangerous buildup of CO2 in your ship. If it reaches 100%, your crew will suffocate. Consider buying a CO2 scrubber and connecting it to a storage tank. Yes, you can just scrub it. Yeah. But it's only 20%. I should have waited probably longer. Yeah. But we've got the crew off. Can we actually go back to there? Not sure either. Appreciate your speed in rescuing the crew of the Orion Sentinel captain. Regrettably, I must inform you that Captain Riker does not appear to be among the survivors. Her sacrifice will be remembered. We don't know when or where the pirate vessel will strike again, but we must be prepared. Where the more analysis their attacks, the more obvious the pattern becomes. Thank you, Captain. Protect the fleet and wait our call. All right. So, we have rescued the crew and received 250,000 generic units of currency for doing that. So, that's helping us out. Let me go to habitation. Let's go to... I think I've already got a small tank, actually. Install small tank. I already have 3 of them. Salvage. So it's going to be habitation, CO2 scrubber. So that takes... Extracts carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and its output must be piped into a storage tank or it'll become blocked. Yes, we've done that. Air duct, which is... It supplies oxygen. And we want in... use electrical power to extract oxygen from water. Airy processor. Converts CO2 to breathable oxygen. Confirm. So we'll do that. And we'll go to install. I'm going to go to a CO2 scrubber, which I will put in... doesn't really matter, but there's fine. A small tank can go there, and then the airy processor will go... Oh, sorry. Wrong. Okay. The airy processor is going to go there. The small tank is going to go... hang on, I'm gonna have to fit things in here. Airy processor there. A small tank next to it, and then the CO2 scrubber there. And then it is piping. So CO2 to the small tank, CO2 out into the airy processor, and then the airy processor to the air duct, and then the cables to power all of that. So what should happen is CO2 scrubber will take the CO2 from the atmosphere, which it is now doing. We are on CO2 22%. 21 and 20, there we go, and that's going to put it into the small tank. After that, it is then going to go, it's going to be stored in the small tank. After that, it goes through the airy processor, which turns 6 CO2 into 4 O2. Recycling efficiency is 67%. However, you can increase that, I believe, via the research, which will be in habitation. Air recycling efficiency. Cost is 1 research point, which is available. I'm not going to do that because, well, we haven't done any research. So that's now sorted. Let's go to the AG Foundry and see how they're getting on. Looks like nothing has happened here. Okay. I'm going to do something then. Procyon Cruiser, I'm going to go to Tactical. I'm going to tell it to go over there. And Commander Harkin, once again, Captain, we have hatched a plan that I believe will catch the pirate vessel in the act. Please come to see us and we'll explain the mission objective. Travel to Commander Harkin's ship. Yes, I will do that, but only once I can actually defend myself. In terms of construction for the cruiser then, let's have a quick look. So, it's... I mean, for a start, this is cool and all at the front. But I'm going to fill it in, not with scaffold though, with hull. Like that. And also, I'll put some... do I need to separate it? Like that. Equipment, doors. Oh, well, actually, let's confirm that. And then... Can I put doors in? Oh, I have to put probably the gaps in first, do I? Okay, floors. Confirm that. Then equipment, door. Auto buy. And I think they can do that now. Let's see if they're coming along. There's something coming along. Yes, so maybe. What you see now, actually, is these drones. And what's happening there is the drones, if I go over to the foundry and go to tactical, you can see all of these broken bits they're trying to repair. Fair enough. But I also want to go to logistics. The AJE foundry shows you, well, it shows you everything that is currently on either the AJE foundry and the Procyon cruiser. However, we have scrap metal, 7 from the cruiser. I want to go and transfer all 7 to the AJE foundry. So I've selected the Procyon cruiser, and then I've selected the scrap metal. Selected the Procyon cruiser, so that's where it's coming from. Then I've said plus over to the foundry, because, well, we might as well bring it over and process it. Speaking of the cruiser, trading. 2 drone bays and another couple of drones, which will go like that. All this has been scrubbed. We're going to repair. That's good. We're going to go over here. Stargate. Sell. Trading. Resources. All of the scrap metal, because it's cheap and we can refine it. And metallic minerals. Eventually, by the way, we will just get to a point where hopefully we'll be able to... Are these all holes in the ship? No, probably just patches. Eventually it'll get to a point where hopefully we can just gather the resources we want, either via mining or via salvage, and then just transfer it to here for processing. Again, this is not in any way, shape or form a really, really efficient setup. It's just a case of, you know, it does the job. To our cruiser then, and to the editor, and you can put in armor on the vessel. If I, however, was to armor the full thing, it would become stupidly slow, and also cost 384,000 generic units of currency, which I cannot afford. So over to trading, and to I think, let's go with, what do I want to turn this into? I've got point defense. I'm going to have some way of fighting, aren't I? Yeah. I've got point defense, the Gatling guns. That does for now, but I want some sort of weapon systems. Either rail guns or cannons. Probably the latter, because they're middle ground. And we tend to dock a lot with this thing. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Commander Harkin. We will jump to Commander Harkin because the mission may mandate certain weapon systems. So, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, Part 3. So we have, got a couple more vessels now. We have the Astral Temptress. There we go. The Celestial Hammer. And the Vanguard, which is Harkin's vessel. Captain, it's time to hold this pirate vessel to account for all the damage they've done and all the lives they've taken. The UMC Astral Temptress is the bait of our trap. It's a long-haul commercial freighter that was due to be scrapped. We want you to take the Astral Temptress and travel through the most remote, unprotected locations in the sector. Look busy, like you're going somewhere, and bait them out of hiding. They won't be able to resist such an easy target. What they won't realise is that you'll be carrying several tons of advanced military-grade weapon systems ready to be installed and activated the moment they come close. We'll have one final trick to buy you some time before the cavalry arrives. We can reverse energy field in the FTL drive and trigger a massive burst of EMP energy, enough to disable their FTL and prevent any chance of escape. You'll own the ship. your own ship will lose power too. Well, that's not good. But in the calamity that follows, you'll have time to fit your weapon systems and prepare for a tough fight. You'll have to hold them off for a couple of minutes. My strike force will perform a combat drop virtually on top of them, and the tables will turn our favour. Dock with the Astral Tempest and crew the ship. Okay, and jump the Tempest to the system. Right. So, Temptress, it is ours. So I need to dock and crew the ship. So that means moving our only crew from this vessel over to here. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm going to go to this colony and I'm going to get some more crew. Because if something does go wrong, then frankly, I want to know that I can at least crew my original ship. So, trading crew. Looks like it's going to be 5 crew. There we go. Also, I think fuel's good, actually. But food, we'll confirm as well. Let's go to the foundry. You can jump between the systems, as you've just seen there. So it's not a problem. In fact, there was a time when I was navigating all manner of places. It was a bit of a nightmare, truth be told. I like that, though, when you go to the sector map, you can see where your different vessels are. That's good. Preparing the jump. I wonder if it says jump once we're here. So it does say it's ready. And to say ready to jump, yes it does. Right. So, we're going to dock. Yeah, we're both there, that's fine. Tactical. So we'll dock over here. Go the other side actually, because that's where the docking port is. I naturally like to make things symmetrical. And, well, that's no surprise, and also no different in this game. But also, apart from aesthetic reasons, it's also a practical reason in that I don't have to worry about what side I need to dock at. Fleet formation. Combat fleet AI. Other ships will take care of themselves during combat. That's good. Okay, we'll go to here. So, throttle down. And there we go. Dock. We're now going to learn how to transfer crew from one ship to another. Okay. There were no crew. No. But we can go to logistics. Select the resource. Select the source ship from the crew. Yep. Crew will go from the source ship from the destination ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done, you transferred some crew successfully. There's the easy one there. And you can see the crew are going to do whatever they need to do, which in this particular case is, well, fuel everything up. Everything needs to be turned on. We've got thrusters on the front, on the rear, 2 engines, lots of fuel. We've got an air duct at the back, which I've never understood. It's got an air duct at the back and an FTL drive, and at the front, it's got another air duct, an oxygen loader and a small oxygen tank, and then another small tank which is CO2 and a scrubber. Those make sense at the front. Well, those make sense in general, not so much at the front because, well, it's tend to where you put forward-facing weapons, but it's there. And then you've got another air duct here. I'm guessing in case one gets destroyed, or maybe it's because of the distance. I'm not sure. Anyway, jump the Astral Tempest to the empty systems until jump into empty systems until attacked. Okay. Well, I think we will do that, but we will do that next time. Let me go to Tactical and detach all, and the ship will undock. And, yeah, there we go. That is the UMC Astral Temptress. We have done... What's happening here? Sorry? Didn't tell it to do that, and that's leading into space. That's not ideal. Either way, we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of the Last Starship. As you can see, we are absolutely hammering through the missions. Wolfing Sheep's Clothing Part 3, ready to bait this ship and install Well, let's have a quick look. Install. Oh, we've just got 3 cannons. Is that it? Okay, interesting. But we are going to overcharge the FTL drive to EMP the other ship. We've got our main cruiser here, which is now more maneuverable, and that's as best we can say about that. And then we've got the Foundry, which is well, able to sell things. Let me go ahead and go to, well, actually, we'll go to Stargate, sell all. We are going to go to trading, to resources. I'm going to bring in all of the scrap metal, which is slowly replenishing, and all of the metallic minerals, which I'm going to confirm, and then change these guys from scrap metal to metallic minerals, which in my experience is pretty much what you end up setting them to anyway. And there we go. So we are now over halfway there for the... We've done phase 1 of the Stargate project. We're now halfway on phase 2. So yeah, overall I think fairly good progress. Oh, just before I finish off trading here, energy, and if there's more solar panels, I buy solar panels. Install solar. I tend to massively solar certainly any production, anything that doesn't require a huge spike in energy. And yes, you could argue that the smelters and the manufacturing turning on and off is a huge spike in energy usage, but those being rotated around the wrong way. It matters not. But it's not critical. If the power goes out, if the lights switch off, nobody dies. Whereas in combat, and there's a huge spike in energy and we have a deficit in that, then that's a problem, and a critical one at that. So I'm not too bothered about this thing being almost solely battery and solar powered. That's fine. That just saves me in long-term fuel costs. For the other ships, it might be a supplementary power supply rather than a main one. Either way, that's where we're going to leave it. And as always, hope you have enjoyed the episode and the series thus far. And let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you have enjoyed it once again. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. And generic partings.